completely underneath or underneath and to the side, then normally pruning it will mean that it will fall away from the live zone, not therefore enter it. So it wouldn't deem to be in the vicinity zone. Yeah, these pieces of chestnut coppice here that are growing up, they've not got close enough to the line to be within the live zone. If we cut them, then of course they can't fall upwards, they're going to fall down, and therefore the fact that they're away more than 2 metres from the line, they're not being deemed to be in the live zone. They're also not deemed to be in the vicinity zone because they will fall away. So this type of work can be carried out using normal chainsaw, uninsulated tools, normal felling work from the ground.
When we get on site in the morning, we'll usually sit around all the team members and write a risk assessment. So I'll decide which trees are in which zone. So ideally, everything will be cut with a chainsaw because it's much quicker. When we use a rod, it's much slower, but it's safer. So it's usually a visual inspection when we get on site in the morning. Where we can, we'll put the mute. And in the mute, we'll either use a chainsaw or the insulated rods. If it's within the vicinity of the live zone, we'll use insulated rods from the bucket. We can't get the bucket to the tree, we'll use insulated rods from the ground.
Insulated rods are used where the trees are in the vicinity zone or in the live zone. So where there's a risk of trees actually touching the wire, the tree becomes live, and there's enough current can be transmitted down through a branch if somebody's holding it to kill them. Where there's too much work to do in the live zone, perhaps where there's a lot of rodding work to do, we might say, okay, from an efficiency point of view, it's going to be quicker and easier to turn the line off and use conventional cutting techniques such as the use of chainsaws from a mute, felling techniques from the ground, and not have to worry about the electric shock risk involved with potential contact in the line, or in fact tripping the line out through contact with trees or branches. In which case, it's okay, a shutdown will be the most effective means of carrying out the work. If there's just a small amount of live zone clearance work to do, then it can be done by the use of insulated rods.
This is an insulated rod, but that can withstand 33,000 volts of electricity. That can actually touch the wire and it won't conduct, but we don't tend to do that. So we have a minimum of 3, and that guarantees our 2 metre G55 clearance zone. And all we do, this is a Japanese pruning saw, which is lethally sharp. So obviously the sharper is the quicker it'll cut. And it's just a drawing motion from above. So it's to keep us safe and stop the power being knocked out. So we've got chainsaw techniques on the ground. Probably a team would have been doing ground cutting. Maybe what that team would also do some rodding from the ground. And then we might have, certainly myself today, in the mute, using 1 minute rods where applicable, next minute using chainsaw, and then the tractor going over everything, clearing everybody's arisings up.
In such a high risk environment where it's very easy to have a really severe accident, then it's obviously down to everybody paying attention to what they're doing, using the correct practices and looking after each other, and obviously looking out for the public. If there are, for instance, public footpaths or public access to the land, then it's a key consideration. And signs are obviously put out, even the posting of banksmen during felling operations or pruning operations where trees could fall on a member of the public or a branch could strike somebody, then it's imperative that the public are kept out of those types of areas. Because it's not just health and safety but also environmental management, quality management systems that I look after, there's quite a wide spread of different activities. Obviously health and safety is extremely important to us, as well as environmental management. So it's at the forefront of keeping people safe.
That's the prime objective. You know, one we've got to keep the lines clear so the power stays on, but the most important part is keeping the guys safe, doing the job safely. And that's, I think, we're trying to illustrate today the techniques we use around that much power that keep people safe.